Hey guys, so today we're back working on the truck a little bit. We're gonna do a tranny service. So doing a tranny service on one of these things isn't too hard. Well, I have an aftermarket pan, so obviously it has a drain in it. If you don't have a drain, it's a little bit more, it's a little dicier because you tend to make a mess. But nonetheless, if you're draining this thing out, you are just going to pull the pan bolts down, or pull the pan down, get covered in it, and then whatever. With one that has a drain in it, you just pull the drain and put it in a bucket. Much less mess. Don't get me wrong, there'll still be a mess after you're done, I can guarantee it, but it's not near as bad. So we're gonna pull this pan down. I'm gonna reset bands, and then we'll put it back together, fill her up, and we'll be good to go. So not really too complicated, but I'll get into it when I'm doing the bands. So I'm just gonna pull all the bolts down, pull the filter down. Hopefully there isn't a bunch of junk in the pan, because otherwise, if there's a bunch of garbage in there, we might have to take tranny out, but I think it should be fine. So anyways, let's get after that, and I'll get back to you guys when we're setting the bands. All right guys, I got the pan down. Apparently the GoPro wasn't filming that. But anyways, you just take the bolts out on the GoPro, or on the pan. Your pan bolts are like these ones. There's a little bit of garbage in the pan, but nothing that I'm really concerned about, being how many kilometers are on the truck and that power level it was at. I'm not concerned. There's a little bit of clutch material. Band isn't overly loose, so that is good. My band is definitely, front band definitely needs to be adjusted forward. Right, so getting into setting your forwards band, it's a little bit more ignorant, especially on these older trucks, because you got to get the jam nut loose, and lots of times you put sealant on them, and that's not the right size wrench. So on this transmission, it just has a flat spot where you can put a wrench. It's 5/16 and 3/4, but it's got sealant on it, which is pretty common for guys to put sealant on it, which is fine. Problem is that sometimes it makes it hard to get it to move. My tranny lines tend to be in the way. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna loosen this off a bit. Are in one full turnout on both. Now, not all transmission builders are the same, so whoever built your transmission, you want to ask them what they want for a spec. So just take that into consideration. You want to make sure that you ask the trans builder what they want, because not every guy sets it up the same way. If you set it up wrong, you'll have a bad day. Here on this transmission, now doing this on any of these transmissions, this process is the same on 46RE, 47RE, 48RE, 47RH, 46RH, 727s. It's just that you want to find out whoever built the transmission, or if it's stock, look up the stock spec for doing it, because not everybody does it the same way. If you use a different lever, if you do this, that, whatever, there is a bunch of differences depending on who's building the transmission. So make sure that you do it the way that they want you to do it, so that you don't have an issue. So this one we're doing the same way. It actually doesn't feel like it's that far of adjustment. The front band was definitely out of adjustment of it. So We will adjust this one accordingly. Zero lash. And then we got to go one full turn out. Of course I moved it. Zero lash. Now I'll give you a pointer. If you have a flat spot on whatever you're using, it gives you an idea where your full turn is. I just literally just put this one on there because I usually use a different one for this, but that's okay. So there's our full turn. Spacer. And we'll tighten that up. And there she is. Alright, so the filter that I'm using is just a 727 style filter. This is what I recommend to use in all of these transmissions, whether it be a whether it be a 48RE or any of them. I prefer to use this style. Now, not all of you guys are gonna have this spacer. I have a spacer because I like the filter to be a little lower in the pan, especially with a deep pan. Obviously with a non-deep pan, you can't do that, but with the deep pan, I like to have a spacer on the filter. Not everybody is like that, but that is what I like. So do as you may. So I do have a reusable pan gasket. Some pans you can use them, some pans you can't. This one you can. So obviously, because we can, we're going to. And then you don't have to worry about cleaning the silicone off. Just one thing that you want to watch is that you don't tighten it too tight with the reusable pan gasket, because if you do, you break the gasket and then it'll leak. And then you'll curse at the gasket because you think it's a gasket's no good. But it was the 200-pound gorilla that was doing the job that was the problem.
Like I said earlier, make sure you don't tighten these bolts too tight if you are using a reusable gasket.
All right, guys, we're gonna fill this thing up back up with tranny fluid. Give you guys a helpful hint. If you can, obviously you need a drain pan that has a hole in it or has a drain in it. But if you dump it into a pail and then you measure how much you drained out, you can put basically the exact same amount in so you don't overfill it. So I know lots of people overfill their automatic transmissions. Something else too, when you're filling these things up, whether it's a new transmission or used just doing a flush, is, well, a new transmission, you want to make sure you only put about 6-8 liters in it. You should be filling the torque converter before putting it in, or putting a bunch in it anyway. Is fire the truck up, it must be in neutral. I don't care if it has a trouble valve in it or a full flow valve, if you want to call it whatever. Personally, I put it in neutral. You don't have to worry about it. And checking it neutral while running. Because it is Dodge, they like that. So we are going to start filling this up, and yeah, and then we'll check it and get all done, and then we'll be good to go.
Just note, you don't want to put the fluid in super fast, otherwise you spill it over the place. Just thought I'd mention that. Take your time filling it up because it's easier to put more in and a lot more work to take it out. So.
All right, guys, so we got her all done. I got the tranny fluid all topped up. I don't know exactly how much we used. We used 1 full jug and another 3 liters out of this. So it took 8 liters. That is a little bit bigger pan, so they will eat a little bit. They will eat a little bit. I just thought I might have seen a leak, but I think that was from me before. Anyways, like, subscribe, hit me down in the comments. You got any questions, comments, concerns, whatever it may be, hit me up. And remember, it's not rocket science.